personally, and it is a huge help to me and my team. But I want to introduce you for just a moment to Ryan Dahl from PraiseCharts.
It's great to have a few friends in this house, and I hope you're enjoying your lunch. I've come a long ways to be here. I'm from Vancouver, BC in Canada, which is basically kitty corner. Long ways. Had a great time at our booth just over there, and it's been fun getting to know a few people. Seems like a lot of times when people talk to me, they're like, "Oh, I really love your accent. Are you from the north?" Or, you know, it's especially funny when I get people from the south and they're like, "Oh, Ryan, I just love your accent. It's so cute to hear when you talk like that." And I'm like, I don't think I'm the person that has the accent. So, anyways, great to be here. And yes, I started this little company about almost 20 years ago now, PraiseCharts, back in the days when the internet was all about just getting started. And so those were the early days. I remember I had this kind of light bulb moment in 1999. I was a worship pastor and musician, much like you. Probably the reason why I started this company is because I needed the music. And I was finding that the means to get the music as fast as I wanted was a lot of those means were kind of illegal. So I thought, well, if I start a company and then I become the customer of it, who cares who else gets the music? I needed the music. So I started, hiring some arrangers and getting them to get the music flowing to me. Had this light bulb moment in 1998, 1999, where it's a Tuesday night at about 4 o'clock, and I have worship practice at 6 o'clock, and it's not just a little worship team. I had this little mini orchestra that I was kind of developing, and I had this new song I wanted to introduce, but I didn't have the music, and I had practiced in 2 hours. So I'm sitting in the office there, and I had this moment where I'm talking to the arranger who lives 20 minutes away from me. I didn't even have time to go get the music and get him to bring it to me, but I see this fax machine on the table, and I said, "Why don't you just fax the music to me?" So do you remember those fax machines that were like, you know, in rolls of coils, and you would get the music sort of spilling out and it would like all be on the floor? And that was how one of my first charts got delivered to me through the wires, and the floor was loaded with an orchestration of music that I took to the team to the practice, and it went great. And I was like, this is gonna change how music is delivered in the future, and I just kind of saw this moment. So that's what kind of took me through, except in October of 1999. Great momentum, and I was like, I am going to do this. I'm going to give my life to helping resource worship pastors with music. But there was this looming threat. I don't know if any of you can remember, back in about October of 1999, there was this thing called Y2K, and I literally thought the world was going to implode on my little website, and I wasn't going to make it to the year 2000. Some of you who are younger than, say, 30 years old, you might be going like, Y2K, what is that? But it was a big threat. So I made it through Y2K, made it through the .com bomb. I mean, in those days, the website that you had to have your site on was Yahoo. If you weren't in the Yahoo search engine, you were like nothing. Now I don't even hear hardly about Yahoo. It's all about Google, and a lot of you visit the site coming through Google. So pressing on now until about the year 2004, I had an experience here in Florida. So by 2004, most people were still working in traditional jobs, 9 to 5, had to go to an office, and I realized I didn't have an office, I didn't have a boss, I didn't have hours. All I had was a wife and 4 kids and a dog and a great business that was totally virtual, and I could take it anywhere. So I took a risk. I rented my house, bought a 32-foot motorhome, a 10-foot trailer, put a motorcycle behind it, and created this map of all the customers that I had accumulated in the last 5 years and charted a path all around North America. I might have visited some of you in those days. We took 8 months with our kids, my wife. The dog made it halfway, and then we gave the dog away because he was a pain in an RV. I remember being in Florida, so we left in May. I was in Florida for December on the Sugarloaf Key. Some of you ever been to Sugarloaf Key? Sitting on the sand there when I'm used to spending Christmas in the snow. And I was just visiting churches. I went to one church just about half an hour away from here, and sat in his service as he led worship. I knew he was a PraiseCharts customer, but I didn't tell him who I was. And after the service, went for a walk with him, and I'm introducing myself, and he thinks I'm a candidate for his new worship team or something like that. He asked me who I am. I said, well, I'm Ryan, and I have this thing called PraiseCharts. And he's like, what? You work for PraiseCharts? I said, well, yeah, I started it, 5 years ago or something. He's like, you own PraiseCharts? I use that site every week. Oh my goodness. So he stops in his tracks, gets out his phone, he's got to call his friend out. He's like, Jerry, I'm sitting here talking with the owner of PraiseCharts today. I'm like, look, I'm not Chris Tomlin or Matt Redmond, I'm just the chart guy. And apparently he thought I was a big deal. So now that's 12 years ago. Since then, it's been an uphill climb of growing and building and working out all the relationships with Nashville and all the publishers around the world. But now we're able to serve a lot of people all over the world, all over North America. Music just keeps going out, so we're thrilled about that. A couple things I wanted to let you know is that we're having fun at our booth, and I'm doing a little presentation tomorrow on the charts and how we make them and how you read them and all that kind of geeky stuff about music. So if you're into that, come to my seminar tomorrow. I think it's at 11:15. And at our booth, we kind of got a creative thing. I've been cooperating with Matt from Loop Community, and we made our own little worship stage because I don't know, but nobody invited me to lead worship here from this stage. I was a little